For more on Brigitte Bardot and her career, let's bring in Gad Edery, founder of the GADCOLLECTION gallery in Paris that hosted an exhibition dedicated to Brigitte Bardot just a couple of years ago. Good to have you with us. What was your reaction when you heard the announcement from the Brigitte Bardot Foundation?
I mean, I was like any French people. I was devastated. I mean, she's part of our, history, and she's part of us. I mean, she's been around for the past 50 or 60 years, so that's quite some time. And she speaks to all kind of generation, from people who are her age to youngsters, like teenagers. Everybody knows in France. I mean, in France, everybody knows Brigitte Bardot. She's part of the scene, actually.
She was a brilliant actress, but she was also a model, and her photographs are in some cases just as well known as some of her films. Can you tell us a bit more about that part of her career?
Yeah, of course, Camille. The exhibition I hosted was done by very famous photographer Douglas Kirkland, who had photographed, I mean, all of the most important actors around the world. And we did that exhibition just a short while ago after Douglas Kirkland passed away. And they had a very special relationship with Brigitte Bardot. They've met in '65 on the set of Viva Maria by Louis Malle. It was in 1965, and along with her on the screen was also Jeanne Moreau, and the three get along very, very well. And the reason I call this exhibition "Douglas, My Darling" is that because Brigitte Bardot wrote a letter to Douglas Kirkland saying, "Douglas, my darling, I miss you so much. I miss the time we spent together and your photos and so on." So they had a very strong relationship, professional, real friends that lasted for years. And it was a blast. I mean, I can't remember if I was showing, 15 or 16 or 20 images, but all of those images are, icons. Well, icons. I mean, most of the most important images of Brigitte Bardot were done by Douglas Kirkland.
What is it about her that makes her so captivating, whether that be on a cinema screen or in those photographs? What's this kind of Bardot effect?
That's a very tricky question. I mean, some people have it and some people don't. She clearly had it. So some people catching the light like no one else. And she had, in French, we said a frimousse, like a teenager face, young face, and people related to that. And at the time she was more famous than Marilyn Monroe, and being with us for so long, she's part of France heritage. And if I'm correct, back in the 80s or 90s, she was Marianne in all the city hall of France. That was the face of France in every city hall. Brigitte Bardot, Bibi, as we call her, and the fact that she catches the light. There is something about her that when you look at her, I haven't had a chance to meet with her personally, but when you look at the photos, you clearly see that there is something really special about her, and you don't come across that kind of person on a regular basis. I'm quite lucky. I've met many actors and many people, with my gallery, and those ones are so rare that you can't explain it. You feel that there's something very special about the person, and you understand why they went through. They had the career they had. But you can't really explain. That's something, untouchable. I mean, you can't put words on that. Actually, I cannot. Maybe you can, but I cannot. But when you meet with someone like that, you do understand that is something different.
I want us to listen to a quick soundbite of a tourist in Paris reacting to the news. Let's just take a listen.
Yeah.
she was a legend, and it's really sad that she's dead, but she also had a really great legacy. And yeah, she kind of represents France to me as an American.
So there you have it. She represents France. How well was Brigitte Bardot known abroad, beyond France?
I mean, beyond France. I mean, you can't imagine. I mean, I have requests from people all over the world. I mean, from people in France, that are willing to buy Douglas Kirkland's work, but also in the Middle East, in Japan, in Singapore, in the US, in Brazil, in Argentina. It's coming from all over the world, and that is it's been like that for years, and people, I think, relate to her regardless of where they're from regardless of their age. Some time ago, I had during the exhibition of Brigitte Bardot at the gallery, I had a group of teenagers, and they all knew who was Brigitte Bardot. They all knew. I mean, they were like 13, 14, and normally their background, I mean, what they look at or they watch it's more like Pokemon and different type of Japanese, comics. But they all knew who was Brigitte Bardot. I was quite amazed by that. Very, very surprising. And so people were 13, 15 years old up to people who are 90. Everybody knows Brigitte Bardot. That's for a fact. And also you have to remember that in France, she also was a very famous singer, singing along on the lyrics of Serge Gainsbourg, who was quite a writer and a singer himself. So all that, I mean, between the movies, her career for the protection of the animals in France, she had her own foundation, and all that, makes her part of France. I mean, as simple as that. In the UK, people relate to the Queen. We relate to Bibi. That's it.
We hear a lot that Brigitte Bardot revolutionised what we show on screen, but even kind of our culture. Is there a before and an after Brigitte Bardot? How can you explain that?
The first time in the movie industry where you can spot a part of a naked body, that's Brigitte Bardot, that's Bibi. I mean, you can't go much further than that. I mean, as in terms of revolutionizing the movie industry. You come from a very prude background, and then comes Brigitte Bardot, and everything is shifting. Just it's a new world, and that's, I mean, it's once in a century. It was how you can show something without being, aggressive or disrespectful. It was something very simple. Nudity in its best aspect, very simple, but that changed the world of the movie industry.
Yeah. Gad Edery, thank you so much for speaking to France 24. I'm afraid that's all we have time for.